Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. Um, going to be talking about ObamaGate today. Some of you might have no idea what that is, um, but we're going to be getting into it a little bit. Last week we talked about the controversy that was going on with cuties. And there's been a little update since then. The grand jury in Texas, actually, the state of Texas, indicted Netflix, and the charge was um, uh, showcasing children in a way that they should not be showcased. So I'm not sure if anything's happened since the indictment, but they've been indicted. Netflix has officially been indicted for the movie Cuties. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there and what comes from that. So Obamagate. What is Obamagate? It's a hashtag that's been trending for the last few months. President Trump has actually been a proponent of that hashtag, as have many others. And what the idea around Obamagate essentially is, the short version of the story is that both President Barack Obama and former Vice President Joe Biden supposedly held a meeting during the last days of their administration with various different intelligence officers and officials, where they plotted to take down then President-elect Trump through some shady means, which included entrapping General Mike Flynn, and his life is forever changed. The charges that were against him have since been dropped, and that's an ongoing issue there. But also in that room, they discussed making false claims about Trump's relationship with Russia. And during the first 3 years of Trump's presidency, he was under investigation for colluding with Russia. It has been pushed in our faces. It has been promoted as gospel, as factual, and everybody really believes that Trump colluded with Russia. And Robert Mueller, who was in charge of the investigation, actually came back and said his findings were that there was no collusion. Right? So for 3 years, we were getting just pummeled with propaganda saying that, mainstream media saying that Trump is colluding with Russia, in bed with Russia. And here we go, the guy who is definitely not a Trump supporter, Mueller, came back and said, there's no evidence of collusion. So then where did this story come from? Now, earlier this week, as Trump was as he was in the hospital for COVID, during that time, he actually declassified some documents between the CIA and the FBI that talk about this. And so I have some segments of the documents here. Got it from the Washington Post. And so essentially, it's a 3-page memo written by the CIA to former FBI Director James Comey, telling them that Hillary Clinton had approved of a plan to blame Russian computer hacking on her opponent, Donald Trump. And the actual document says, and it's not, some of it has been redacted, right? Some of the information has been redacted, but this is a quote from it. It says, in exchange discussing U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's approval of a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. So there's some extremely serious and grave claims being made here on this official memo between the CIA and the FBI that say we want to essentially make up a story about Trump so that we can take away, remove some of the attention that Hillary Clinton is getting because of the email scandal and all that stuff that was going on. So these are some pretty intense claims. Now, the memo also states that the CIA said that the memo was provided to the FBI for exclusive use of your Bureau for background investigation, investigative action, or lead purposes. So pretty much this information was provided to Robert Mueller when he was doing that investigation. But it was, the FBI took no action, and Mr. Comey, former Director Comey, testified last week and said that he did not recall seeing the memo, which was addressed directly to him, making these claims. So there hasn't been any official charges yet or official indictments, but if what this report is stating if things come out to be how they're actually being presented in this memo, and that's actually what happened, this will be the biggest scandal in the history of any president. Now, what does this mean for the rule of law in this land? I mean, could you imagine seeing Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama receiving an indictment and having to testify and give an account for such actions? Could you imagine a world like that? It'd be hard to believe, and I think most of the public would not even believe it. But Mark 4:22 says, "For everything that is hidden will eventually be brought into the open, and every secret will be brought to light." So whatever it is, the truth will be revealed. It's going to be exposed, and justice will be served. You know, nothing's going to be forgotten. and everybody will reap what they sow sooner or later. What we can do in the meantime is, just continue to pray for our leaders, for those who are in positions of power and influence, that God would lead them, and that corruption would have no place. That righteous leadership would rule the land. And yeah, so this is obviously a continuing issue. We'll continue to see what happens in the days, weeks, and months ahead. 2020 has been an interesting year, and we'll see what else 2020 has for us. But as for today, that's all it is. That's all I got. A little bit about ObamaGate. If you've been seeing that hashtag or seeing it trending, this is just kind of pretty much what it's all concerning. So until next time, we'll see you guys here on Straight Talk.